What if addiction isn't attacking you at all? See, addiction serves a purpose. It has a function. The function of addiction is the most important part of it, not what you're addicted to. The function of it is relief. It's giving you relief from an internal pressure, an internal dis-ease. It's creating regulation where your body is incapable of regulating itself. And it's protecting you. It's protecting you from feeling things that are difficult to feel, that are overwhelming for your body-mind system to feel. So it's actually a natural and intelligent biological process that's trying to regulate your whole system. That's what it's doing for you. And then we get into this in this video because understanding this makes a night and day difference to recovery and what recovery actually is. So let's explore what addiction is really doing. This is where most people have completely misunderstood the process. Like, they think that addiction is a fault and a flaw, and if it shows up, there's something wrong. But actually it is an intelligent, adaptive response. This work that I do in Infinite Recovery is showing the intelligence of the system. So when we look at how we're wired for survival first, what addiction is actually doing for us, you could call it the steam valve on the pressure cooker. That if there's nothing there letting off the steam of the internal system, the survival mechanism, then there will be an explosion eventually. And you could say that could be suicide or psychosis, or some other form of mental illness where you end up sectioned, hospitalized, or lost yourself, lost your grounding. Now, you might say addiction doesn't sound very intelligent, and I would agree with that. It's not knowledge intelligent. It's just the way the body's wired for survival. So when I say intelligence, I mean it's the way the system works. I don't mean it's clever, it's smart, or it's not destructive. So it is helping us do something. It's helping us process an internal dis-ease, an internal state that's overwhelming and challenging. So in that case, it is intelligent. And in many cases, long-term, it becomes regulation as well as relief. That relief for too much pressure becomes a way of coping. Like, it's too overwhelming to be me without drugs, alcohol, food, sex, or porn. Then I use something, it could be binge drinking, it could be just drinking on a Friday and Saturday. Many people say, I'm not addicted because I only, it's like, it doesn't really matter, If it's regulating something, if every time something difficult happens, you have an argument in your relationship, you go out and drink, then it's doing something for you. You're using something outside yourself. Now, I'm not here to say this is right or wrong or bad or good. I'm here to explain if you want to understand. And the journey of healing is going towards yourself, of learning what that function is, what that relief and what that regulation is that you're getting from addiction. So there's relief, there's regulation, there's escape. When life becomes too overwhelming, too unbearable, when something happens that's too difficult to be with, something to do with children, something to do with relationships, something to do with parents, family, something to do with work or money that's just too much, then there's an escape. There's, the body and the mind knows, oh yeah, that worked. It's kind of like, this is too much and I can use that to get away from life. And it's such a difficult experience to be with, so I can use it to escape myself. So relief, regulation, escape, protection. I can use something, could be sex, food, money, might be not going back to drugs, like to protect myself from what? From overwhelming internal experiences, and all these, again, like I said, are implicit. Often we don't know they're playing out, but they're happening. And that's why the healing journey is making all this conscious. A lot of it's playing out. We can't even see it happening, but it's what we do. It's our learned way of protecting ourselves from difficult feelings. Relief, regulation, protection, escape. It's always that our internal system drives us out of our conscious awareness to escape from ourselves and to find respite from internal discomfort. But what we've got to ask ourselves in the whole of those things, was anything solved? Did we learn to be with ourselves more? Did we learn to know ourselves more? Did we learn to regulate ourselves more? No, we just used something. So when we're just using something outside of ourselves to do all those things, we're going to constantly need to go back to that thing, whatever it is that works for us. And that's why there's a repetitive cycle.